People look for peace. Peace is. You don't have to look for it. Going from love, same thing, love, peace, abundance, health. If you tune
Yeah.
yourself becoming available to that frequency, then things are going to be actually attracted to you. You're not going to have to like chase things out there.
We create the limit
Yeah.
and then we argue for it and
Yeah.
defend it because we think we need it. We think we're being honest.
Yeah.
But this happened. It's true. This happened. And then forming grudges or forming blame and judgment. And, oh, well, if that person hadn't have done that, then I wouldn't have this scar. And da, da, da. That thinking that, well, if we if it enough and look into it enough, it's going to somehow change it. So then we can have peace because we can argue and defend and change the past. Then then I'll have peace. No, you're just defending the limitation and you're staying in it.
Letting go is less about letting go and it's more about letting things be. Understanding back again to peace, abundance, love, health, they already are. And understanding that you don't have to let go of anything. We tune ourselves into that frequency of what does abundance feel like? What does the health, full health feel like? What does love feel like? When I'm in love, what do I feel like? That
Yeah.
feeling is the part where we want to attend to it. So what does peace feel like?
Yeah, peace is in the pause. Peace is also the knowing and the permission to be afraid, but just direct where it's going. Having peace doesn't mean we don't have fear. Just discern where you take it so
Yeah.
it doesn't spiral out of control and then you're tending to somebody else's fear. Be
Yeah.
responsible with it.
Hello, beautiful souls, curious minds. Welcome back to another Awake and Aware podcast session. In today's session, Tammy and I are going to talk about the inner peace and how it is important to understand the difference between wanting to have peace versus understanding you already have it and what is in the way of it. And then, of course, what can be done to let that feeling of peace and the wholeness, the completeness, the love, the acceptance within you emanate out. So, getting rid of a few obstacles that you may feel maybe in the way of your peace. But without any further ado, as usual, help me welcome Tammy and let's jump right into it. All right, beautiful souls, curious minds, welcome back to another session of Awaken Where podcast. With me today again is Tammy. Thank you so much for being here as usually. Lovely to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so in today's session, I wanted to talk about peace and especially inner peace and the importance of going through this life and being in a space where you can effortlessly, in some sense at least, or some way, shape, or form, say, I'm okay with that. Even when something happens, or especially when something happens that you don't necessarily agree with, something that rubs you the wrong way, something that your family did or say, something your spouse might have said or done, and where you can be with whatever the situation is. When we obviously react to any kind of a stimulus, when
Hmm.
we reacting, we are basically leaving the peace behind. We are moving away from the space of peace, and we are entering into battlefield basically by doing that.
Hmm.
So there is a quote by I think it was Viktor Frankl. The peace lies in between the stimulus and response, something in that sense. And so when we make a step back from something was said, something was done, and you find yourself go and you breathe and you pause, the stimulus happened. Now you're responding because you paused. If you didn't pause, you would have reacted. And so that
Hmm.
pause allows for the peace to remain, that for your inner peace to stay. The inner peace goes away literally as soon as we react. And that's the emotion,
Hmm.
which is okay. If you have emotional reactions, not right or wrong, this is what it is. But just know that when there is a reaction, the emotional reaction to something, that there is something for you to learn. This is a Earth school. This is a place for us to learn stuff, and this is one of the ways that we are taught
Mhm.
through our relationships, especially through our daily interactions with our at our work, with ourselves, obviously. The importance of yourself reflecting on what you understand from the outside stimulus, from the outer world, in your way of filtering whatever the stimulus was, is going to determine whether you're going to respond or whether you're going to react. And those filters that we each have since the childhood, without awareness, we can't move along in life with peace.
Mhm.
With awareness, we can. Okay, so if there
Mhm.
is awareness and if there's allowing for that pause between from any kind of stimulus that happened in your life, there's a pause, there's a breath, there's a grounding feeling, and then from that perspective, you can say, okay, I feel this situation that just happened hit me somewhere in my heart. It's my heart squeezed. Physical response. What are you feeling for that moment? Taking that space just before you answer something, just before you respond to the situation. Or maybe that's like the pressure in the head. It's a pressure in the
Mhm.
neck. It's a squeezing in the belly, in the gut, right? So listening to these physiological responses of your body to stimulus that's happening from outside world, that's a way to start noticing, start realizing where you leave behind your inner peace.
Mhm.
Uh,
Love it. Yes. I love that you brought self-awareness into it because that was I wrote that down and like so peace to me is what we have or what happens when we trust our own self-awareness that we are the safe vessel. Peace is the safe vessel in every journey. And in the pause, we remember that we're the safe vessel in that moment of whether we're going to respond or react. It's the self-awareness and the remembering, but that the trust is built through our own self-awareness. So peace would be okay, there's a storm outside, but I have peace because I know like my windows are good and my roof is strong and they're closed so I'm safe in my home and I have peace because I know that the vessel of my life is safe through my own doing, through my own self-awareness, so therefore I can rely upon myself. I don't have to try to source it outward, like, "Oh, let me go and be that something." We bring it into, well, so many conversations about externally. It's an inside job. The peace is it's the essence of who we are that we turn to in situations that we might react to. But that pause is so important. The pause is sometimes what feels frightening because it would feel frightening to pause if we don't know that we have the capacity, the ability, and we have the self awareness to know that we're safe and we can trust ourselves. Then the pause is scary. And so if I were to sort of reverse it, or if I was sitting with a client or a person trying to bring understanding into this, I would say, well, if the pause feels frightening, why? Why is the pause frightening? Well, if I don't trust that my vehicle can get me from one point to another, if something's unsafe in it, well, I'm not going to want to pause. I'm going to be, there's going to be fear there because I don't trust something.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's for sure. And being in that space of obviously safety, we've talked about that before, is like so super important. This is how we end up creating the filters I was talking about earlier, I feel, is that as a child, we don't have much control, right? As a child,
Mm,
we're basically relying on the adults. And whatever control that adults have and however they use it or abuse it,
mm,
the child is going to figure out the best mechanisms to stay safe,
mhm,
to self-protect. And that's the point of the self-abandonment.
Mhm.
I feel like we, in this Earth school, I feel like we end up creating these filters through which we
Mhm.
view the world later on. And then for the first part of our life, and then we spend the second part of our life undoing it. It's like, that's kind of dumb, isn't that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel, but I feel like there is no real good way around it because the brain doesn't really develop until for I think for male it's like around 25, 26.
Mhm.
For women it's earlier, I think around 20 or something like that.
Mhm.
But until then, we really are like we create these massive constructed self-protective mechanisms
Mhm.
all around us, everywhere, with everything, with everyone. And
Yeah.
that's how and this is what we obviously call the ego or the mind or mental construct that it's not bad. It's not
Mhm.
wrong. It's just is what it is. It is a protective mechanism, however. And I
Mhm.
think as long as we view it like that, it makes it a little easier to differentiate between the true self, that is the soul that we are here to evolve, and
Mhm.
the mind's construct that was here earlier on in our life, physical life, to keep us safe.
Mm.
And to understand that distinction there is, I feel like for me, that was like one of the most important things I've done in my life is to, oh, yeah, so I'm self-protecting is not that I'm, being a butthead or something
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
just being difficult or whatever. It's just a self-protective mechanism that just kicked in and I wasn't aware of it. That's all that happened. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Well, now I can work with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Versus berate myself and just like, be mean to myself for making a quote unquote mistake,
Yeah.
which it wasn't because it just was the mechanism that I started. And then I can equally, not easily, but equally, I can decide to stop that mechanism and change it to replace it with a new one,
Mhm.
which is what requires a lot of self-awareness and practice. The 2 points that are like the super, super important to make any change in life.
Mhm.
So, is there something that comes to
Yeah. Yeah, so the self-protection
mind?
stuff, even if we really needed it, right? When we used it, okay? If we don't work through that and find the peace within ourselves that makes us feel safe to go out in the world and be vulnerable in order to have expansive interactions and experiences in life. Because
Mhm,
if we're self-protecting, we're closing ourselves in.
mhm,
And while maybe at one time it did protect from something and it was useful, if we don't evolve into an understanding that we don't have to do that and we can be open and free and vulnerable and yeah, things are going to happen, but if we have that trust that it's safe to choose peace and trust that without the defense of self-protection, it will work out for us. The details are being managed by higher power. Our job and our place is to choose peace, find it within ourselves, because that peace, it's trust within ourselves, but it's trust out into the universe. So if we stop and look at self-awareness and look at, where am I self-protecting? Where did I like tense up? Because I'm in a situation and it feels and looks and smells and tastes like something that was maybe I needed to protect against. Well, it might just look like it, but it might not be it. But if we bring out all the protection, it's going to block us from growing. Even if it is going to be something hard, something difficult, we don't grow unless we drop the walls of that and then go out into it.
mhm,
But peace will handle it. It will take care of it. It sounds like a big trust fall, and a big leap, which it is, but slowly, steadily, easy. Like if we go easy with ourselves with it, we don't have to figure it all out at once. Like you said, it's practice. It's so, so important that you said that because as with everything, it's not like, okay, this, get it done and you should be over that by now. Go make that change. Okay, it came into awareness. Well, it might take some time and give yourself the patience, I would say, to someone who is embarking on it. Just go easy with yourselves, and if we look at it, there's information in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to tie into that real quick because I just something just came to me. I love what you're saying too, in that sense that the patience and the love that you give to yourself, right? Or to others. And
Mhm.
oftentimes, as we were talking earlier, is that we are so quick to help out others and be patient
Mhm.
with them forever, but
Mhm.
we're not so patient and loving towards ourselves. There
Yep.
was a point in my life when I asked myself, gosh, how much do I have to not like myself to keep doing this? Yeah. And that totally like stopped me in track. And I realized at that moment the self-love importance in that moment. That was
Mhm.
it's just like realization of like over and over and over again running into the same issue and same issue and same issue over again. And literally it took the pause for me.
Mhm.
Seriously, like if it was someone else, I would
Yeah.
like do something else. I would like,
Mhm.
move mountains for other people.
Mhm.
And why
Mhm.
not for me?
Yeah.
Why can't like how much do I not like myself? Okay, I'm gonna change that. And there was a day when I just like shifted. I don't actually
Mhm.
remember the exact
Yeah.
day, but I remember the
Mhm.
moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I've had the same, and it's my question to self was, what's the quota of that you have to be patient to
Mm,
others that then marks, oh, when you do that, when is it enough that you'll give yourself permission for peace? You give others permission, you stand and you're there, and whether it's a job or friends or whatever. And then when it comes to you, like I I know I've said it here before, but, like, just think about, like, food, preparing a meal. Me, I mean, I love to entertain and, cook meals and have people, and, when my daughter was young, I would put all this effort in, in every little thing, right? And then me, like, how often I found myself, like, standing in the kitchen, putting it on a plate and standing there eating and, rushing because what? There's something that important that I need to do right now? No. And so it's like, but these are the things in self-awareness where if we stop and just sort of look around, like if we kind of evaluate our day just gently, gently, like
yeah.
it'll, for me, I notice it all the time. I'm doing something for myself and, rushing through, making it quick and okay, wait, no. Are you in a hurry? Are you tight for time? Is there an emergency you need to get to that you can't take the time to whatever, do this small thing? And, the answer is always no. There's always enough time. And then to come to the end of the day and feel anxious and be like, gosh, oh, I feel anxious today. Why do I feel anxious? And then the mind goes, oh, what's the matter? At least for me, I've had that happen where a day will go by and I'll just feel the weight of that just tension, but there's nothing that I can put my finger on. And most often, it's because of that. It's because I've gone through a day, I've rushed through things for myself, and so it's like my soul is saying, "What about me? Do you see me? You're not paying any attention to me," as if it was another person. Like, "You've been really distant today and you're not here. How come you're not present?" Like my soul is saying that to me. Like, "You're not present with me." And it's true. And that's the cause of the feeling of tension. Nothing happened out there. There's nothing to fix. There's no problems. And if there are problems, it's sourced here because
Yeah.
of my planning and what I've done. Always. Always.
Mhm.
So it's a really good, just how we feel is a really good tell. If we
Mhm.
kind of just look at a basic day. It doesn't require like, thousands of dollars spent to sit with a coach to figure out why you can't find peace. Usually you can find it if you just sit, you know, with ourselves. It's, I mean, and here I am as a coach. It's the poorest marketing plan ever to tell people, no, just sit with yourself. You don't need to.
You don't need
But
me. Just be with yourself. And when you're done being with yourself, send me some money.
I used to tell when I was fitness training full time, I used to tell people, I'm like, look, it's the poorest marketing plan ever, but my goal is that you don't need me
Yeah.
for your whole life.
No,
I
that's
want this to become a lifestyle change for you,
yeah.
and you can go do this. Maybe you need some, a touch-in call once a month or something, but I don't want you to need me
Yeah.
for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like it's the worst marketing, but at the same time, it's the best coaching, right? And
Yeah.
or therapies. So if there is a therapist, I'm
Mhm.
experienced with hearing about therapy. I've only gone like a couple times, and it wasn't my thing. So I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
But for some people, they're there with the therapist for 5 years, 10 years, in a long time,
Mhm.
and they keep doing
Yeah.
it. And to me, sometimes it feels like that's just a continuous crutch. Like the point being is that yes, not need me is what we're trying to get people to do. It's like I have students and I love that they're coming back and I keep saying them like I want you to figure out for yourself like these practices that help you here in class. How can you do these
Mm.
or some of these in your daily life?
Yeah.
And some people get into it a little bit more and they take responsibility for their life and they move on and they do their practice continuously or they change it up a
Mhm.
little bit. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Some people stay there forever, and to this day, they still don't necessarily know the practice very well, which is also okay. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. At
Mhm.
the same time, I want, like you said, I want them not to have to need not just me, but anybody,
Yeah.
because I, for myself, found out that until I sat down with myself, until I asked the questions of myself that were super uncomfortable,
Mhm.
that we want to avoid, that our mind wants to avoid at all costs.
Mhm.
Until I did that, nothing changed in my life. Literally nothing changed. And
Mhm.
so a lot of people will say, I'm just lazy. Okay,
Mm.
that's also a fearful response. To me, if somebody is responding in life with laziness, there's
Mhm.
something they're afraid of doing. Like, I will rather just sit back and not do something than make a fool of myself trying something and making,
Yeah.
coming up short and then having people laugh at me.
Mhm.
Maybe there is
Yeah.
such fear. Okay, something
Mhm.
similar, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things I also want to say is that I love what Peter Crone is doing for this world. I truly love it. And this is why I keep talking about this
Mhm.
stuff. To me, this is the most streamlined version of any other material that's out there that I have found myself.
Agree.
I have not
Mhm.
gone through everything, but I have gone through a lot
Yep.
of
Yep.
authors, spiritual teachers, coaches, instructors, a lot of different stuff. What Peter
Mhm.
does is to the point, and it's very streamlined, and it's amazing, really. So
Yeah, I mean, the way that I describe Peter Crone and why I'm aligned with him
yeah,
is that, listen, yes, he's articulate, the way he speaks and his knowledge and his ability to all of that. Yes, absolutely. We talk all the time about being the example of love. Just go be love in the world. That's what Peter Crone is.
yeah,
Yes, he's giving information. Yes, he has a skill set. Yes, he has capabilities in
yeah,
everything that he does on a very, very, very high level and large scale. But Peter Crone is the essence of love. That's why his communities are what they are. That's why it's surrounding. It's the essence of what he is. He's love.
yeah. And he
Period.
would say, so are you.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah.
But you already
And
know
that's
it.
why and he would say, "Yeah, and that's why I can recognize it in him, and that's why he can in me." And I know I shared it was fun. I shared it in I think one of the book clubs, one night, and it's very rare for me to dream and remember and them to be, like, clear and pointed, but I had a dream one night, and it was in a grocery store, and I was walking through, and I saw him, and so he's here, and I took my right arm, grabbed him and turned him so that he was facing me, and I just said, "I love you. I love you, and I love everything you're doing in the world." He hugged me, and then we walked away, and the greatest part of it is that in the dream, he wasn't shocked at all that some woman had basically assaulted him, like, I physically, like, and he wasn't shocked at all that some woman is stopping in the middle of the store and saying, "I love you," and we embraced, and it was a perfectly normal
Yeah,
thing to happen,
yeah,
and but I know that that's true. I know that would happen, and I know that because I know what it is to be love, and I know what it looks like, and I know how to know when other people are that way. That's the beautiful part.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, we're higher, bigger, better because we've studied these things. No, it's for those of us who have remembered that we're
Mhm.
love. We all know one another.
Yeah.
We all know one another.
Yeah, that's the frequency again. It's like when you're tuned
Mhm.
to that frequency of being accepting, and
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
can't be accepting of other people until you're accepting of yourself.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that, if when somebody's walking around and they truly exude like what I feel from Peter's presence is,
Mhm.
they have done their work. And I don't want to even say that like they have done, like they finished it.
Mhm. Right.
We're all humans living in
Mhm.
here, obviously, so it's continuous learning. But I know he's done a lot of work, and
Mhm.
not only has he done a lot of work, I think he's strategically moved through all the work within himself. So, and this is
Yes.
something I would highly advise for anyone. I've been
Mhm.
doing it for myself, and like I said, this is where I've noticed the most difference for myself is the in some sense strategically working through one thing, next thing, next thing, next thing. I'm just kind of building on that and unraveling these years of berating myself and feeling lack of worth and
Mhm.
lack of confidence and lack of lacking my way out of life.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And to bring it to our the theme of today, peace is the space where the work happens. So choosing peace, setting an intention of being peace, that's going to naturally position the space for everything to happen. And then we understand that what we all talk about not doing less, not it's not doing, it's allowing.
Yeah.
When we are in peace, we can allow. When we're moving around, well, we can't allow it. We can't move on to the next thing, to integrate the work, to embody things.
Hmm.
We can't do that if we're flailing. I think of a young child that's cut their finger, and it's not severe, it's a little paper cut, but it's bleeding. And they're like, "Oh my god, I'm bleeding," and they're moving around frantically.
Hmm.
And the parent or the caregiver is like, "Okay, just sit still, let me see it. Let me see it so I can look at it." And they see it. Oh, they wipe the blood off. "Oh, it's okay." Kiss it, put a little Band-Aid on it, clean it. It's no big deal. It's a little cut. But until they slow down into a peaceful state so that
Hmm.
someone can look at it, n you can't tend to it. And so the peace is where we tend to everything. It's we bring everything into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love one of the distinctions that Peter talked about is that people look for peace. Peace is. You don't have to look for it. And the people look for abundance. I want to feel more abundant. I want to
Mhm.
manifest this and that.
Mhm.
Abundance exists. Tune into that abundance is, and then start behaving from if you already had a lot of stuff, like, yeah, now you're gonna feel grateful. Oh, what does it feel like to be grateful all the time, right?
Mhm.
So going from love, same thing, love, peace, abundance, health,
Mhm.
relation, the yeah, love. It's a relationship.
Mhm.
It all
Yeah.
is what it is. If you tune
Yeah.
yourself becoming
Mhm.
available to that frequency, then things are gonna be actually attracted to you. You're not going to have to like chase things out there. Are you going to have to make some changes in your physicality? Yes. If you want
Mhm.
to actually support that reality, like if you're used to sitting on a couch all day and then just like complain that you don't have, I don't know, finances or that you don't have love or that you don't have health or whatever,
Mhm.
you may have to get your ass off the couch and then start doing things, right?
Mhm.
But it wouldn't be that you have to. It would be because you feel so inspired.
Mhm.
Because now all of a sudden you feel this influx of like, man, I am peace. I am
Mhm.
abundance. I am love. Okay, what am I going to do today with that?
Mhm.
Right? From
Yeah.
that perspective. And I love
Yeah.
that there's that kind of a thing. And so what I feel also is that I want to point to is that oftentimes what seems to stand in our way in that sense of unraveling a peace or love or abundance or any one of these things is that we feel like we want to let go of something. And it's like,
Mm.
how do I let go? Oftentimes people ask, how do I let go of my parents never being there for me? How do I let go of not ever feeling good enough for anything or anyone? How do I let go of feeling this lack of trust in people? Or it's like, yeah, there are ways in order to like do something in order to feel a little bit better or something. But these
Hmm.
are workarounds. Just to understand that the letting go is less about letting go and it's more about letting things be.
Hmm.
Understanding back again to peace, abundance, love, health, they already are. And
Hmm.
understanding that you don't have to let go of anything. You just tune yourself into, and I say just, we tune ourselves into that frequency of what does abundance feel like? What does
Hmm.
the health, full health feel like? What does love feel like? When I'm in love, what do I feel like? When, that
Yeah.
feeling is the part where we want to attend to it. So what does peace feel like, right?
Yeah.
When I'm in peace, I feel soft. I feel approachable. I feel like I have time. I feel like
Hmm.
I'm not stressed out, right? I feel just good about myself. Whatever it is that comes to you, and now
Hmm.
sit with that feeling for a bit, even just few seconds. Okay. Sitting with the feeling of contentment.
Hmm.
Now there is peace,
Yeah.
right? So, and then that's what we practice. And this is
Yep.
why people I feel meditate.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Peace is in the pause. Yeah. It's like, okay, what are you, it's like, when we're used to that which we would let go of, we think that that's the fuel that's keeping us going. It's a pattern. It's a learned way of being. And so it feels frightening. Like, well, then, well, what will I be? What will I do? If I'm
yes.
not doing all of this, well, what? So then I'm left with just me? And that's like, and if we're not yet in that awareness of that, at least an inkling of a belief that we are love, we are all that we desire to have from other people. And the more that we turn into that and sit with that, the more it will come to us. But all of the abundance, the love that we want to receive, it can't get through the blocks that we put up of all the doing and the things and all those patterns. Those are the blocks to it because we're holding on. When we let go, it can then be dispersed. Now it's open. So now we're allowing. Wanting something isn't allowing it to come. Allowance is not wanting. Desire is there, but we have to be open to receive it. And so when we stop and in that pause, now we're receiving. Now we're fertile soil for what we want to come and grow.
Mhm.
But the allowing happens when we let go, not when we say, "Well, but I want this." So that means I'm allowing it because I want it. No. The wanting is the block. It's already there. It's just waiting to come in. The only block to it is the resistance of our wanting it and thinking that we don't have it.
Yeah, and or again, it manifests from that lack of trusting that you already have what it is that you
Yeah.
want, and that you we are manifestors. I love what you're pointing
Mhm.
out there because it is so subtle in a sense. Like
Mhm.
if we want something, we're saying to the universe, I don't have it,
Mhm.
right? And
Right.
so if I'm saying I don't have it, I feel there is a lack, right? So if I'm wanting
Yes.
something, there is a lack
Yes.
of something, right?
Yeah.
Besides many other masters and gurus and teachers are talking about this very
Mhm.
eloquently. I want to read
Yeah.
this real quick from Peter Crone. It says,
Okay.
there's few sentences here, so bear with it. So, what happened, couldn't have happened any other way because it didn't.
Didn't.
What do I get as a payoff by not letting go? There is no reason to hold on to anything unless it's to validate the component of the identity, your identity, my identity,
Mhm.
who you are for yourself, which is founded in a constraint. Ultimately, you'll get to be right about your own sense of inadequacy, insecurity, or scarcity, or injustice, which in sense is such a lame argument to hold on to. Basically saying, I'm going to hold on to this evidence from history, which, by the way, is done just so I can be right about why my life is not working. If you lost me somewhere in a track, rewind this and listen to it again, because so eloquently saying that we are creating this and based on our limits, the limited perspective
Hmm.
from, I guess I was saying earlier, from the filters that we create as a child, as a protective mechanism, we are creating the current obstacles in our mind.
Hmm.
And then we are using our present moment to reinforce the past things that happened in the present
Hmm.
moment, thus wasting the present moment. And this is where we are not letting go. This is where we are in a holding pattern. So we're not letting go, we're holding
Hmm.
onto something that's already finished. And I love that sometimes he points into this like everybody probably has some sort of a scar on the body, right? And it's like, how often do you go to your scar and say, "Oh my God, wow, that time when that happened, that was really rough." And then do you wake up again next morning and you do the same thing? Oh my gosh, my poor scar, that was a hurt. We don't
Hmm.
ever do that. I mean, it's done, it's finished. The scar, it's like
Yeah.
already grown
Yeah.
together. But
Yeah.
with our past, we like to complain about it a lot, and we use it as evidence, as Peter's pointing out,
Hmm.
for the ego to sustain its life, really, because the
Hmm.
ego is basically like a fictitious concept in a sense or
Hmm.
a construct, right? We're just using this as an excuse to point that there is something while there is really not anything.
No. Right. Yeah, we keep it alive. It's like we create the limit
Yeah,
and then we argue for it and
yeah,
defend it because we think we need it. We think we're being honest.
yeah,
But this happened. It's true. This happened. Yes. No, fine. Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, and I love the scar thing. Like, well, if
Mm.
I look at it enough, then I'll be able to erase the past. If I
Mm-hmm.
look at my scar and I think about it enough, I just haven't thought about it enough. I just haven't run it through my mind enough and over and over and over. The whatever, and then forming grudges or forming blame and judgment and, "Oh, well, if that person hadn't have done that, then I wouldn't have this scar," and da da da. If this hadn't have happened, that thinking that, well, if we if it enough and look into it enough, it's gonna somehow change it, so then we can have peace because we can argue and defend and change the past. Then I'll then I'll have peace.
Yeah,
I just need to think about this enough. I just need to, I just need to talk about it more and work it out. No, you're just defending the limitation and you're staying in it.
yeah,
That's why the only suffering is of our own mind and our own thoughts. Suffering is we do that, because we're focused on that. Pain is real, yeah, but the suffering is optional because that's just the only place we suffer is within our own mind and our own thoughts. So I love it. I agree. I mean, it's basically that quote is like everything we've been saying so far in a roundabout way, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And that's what I love about like his work is he's just so streamlining everything. It's just to the point. No
mhm.
bullshitting around. Isn't that not that like we're
Yeah.
bullshit? No, no. I mean, we're processing in our own time, in our own space. Obviously, we are in
Mhm.
our evolution where we are, and I love the space that you and I share here, and
Mhm.
with the
Mhm.
audience out there. And it's like we all have something to say. We all have something to offer.
Mhm.
Everybody who is here in this world, in this space, in this 3D Earth space, learning
Mhm.
school, we
Yeah.
all matter. We all are important just
Mhm.
because we are here. Now, I said this before, but if you're looking to figure out what it is or how it is that you're important or what it is that you're here to do, okay, figure it out. That's up to you. That's the playing field.
Mhm.
You have the
Yeah.
field here to play, and that's, spend the time figuring out what you're here to do, what it is that you like most to do. That's the
Yeah.
learning curve here.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and that's the key. You said it. The way so, well, what do you mean? People might say, what do you mean figure out how I okay, well, my response to that is, what are you doing when you feel the best? Like
Hmm.
what makes you feel happy? Like you're sourcing the world with something good. When you feel like you've been in a situation and you leave it better than you found it, what did you do? What did you say? What happened there? And if we focus on that and focus on choose to have conversations like this, find people that you can talk to about this stuff. It's because the more that we do that, the more that we surround ourselves and talk about it. I mean, I talk about this all day long. We have a choice. We can be looking at our scars. We can be focused on what isn't working, you know, but even when we're in it, even when we're in the trenches of maybe a lot happening, maybe when it rains, it pours, and maybe it's pouring, and maybe it's been pouring emotionally for a long time. Okay. The peace, though, is something that we can access in a moment.
Yeah.
We can access that right smack dab in the middle of a crisis. Doesn't mean everything's going to keep going. Peace is it's something that's happening in our soul. It can't be interrupted. It can happen without doing anything. You don't need quiet. You don't need people to stop talking. It's just a remembering that it's there. Like And so maybe, like the big ships who have the lifeboats, big cruise ships. Well, the boats are there to use if we need them. But while we're on a cruise, we don't sit by one just in case we might need it. We enjoy ourselves and we go around the ship and we get on and off and we have a vacation. But fear would say, "No, stay close because if you're gonna need it, there's a lot of people here, so stay close to the lifeboat because if we sink, I'm gonna need to get on." That's just, that's where our fear and our limited beliefs, if we stay in the past things that happen in the past situations that caused the scars, physically or emotionally, that's just sitting by the lifeboat because you are choosing to believe that you're gonna sink.
Mhm.
Peace is, I trust that I'll be protected, I'll know what to do, I'll have resources. That's the trust in that vessel. So you
Yes.
go out and go live life. No, you don't take chances, put yourself in danger. It doesn't mean to go live and be reckless and be like, "Well, no, I have peace, so I can go be reckless."
Yeah.
It's just trusting without projecting and living in fear of something bad happening. That's to me that's what the essence of peace is.
Amen.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah.
That's it. That's exactly it. And like you said, yeah, I mean, not being reckless about life, obviously, it's important to, judge the situation by however, dangerous it might appear. But,
Mhm.
we could die at any moment, really. Death
Mhm.
can come for us at any time, at any place, really.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Can I trust that I'm going to be out of this world when my time is truly up? Can I be with it? Yes. When I'm facing the imminent death, am I going to be afraid? Probably.
Mhm.
But I would want to hope that I'm going to know that this is not the end of the story. This is just the end of the shell. The body, the
Mhm.
suit that I'm wearing here is the soul.
Yeah. And I'll add, 'cause this is something uh, that I encounter a lot or have encountered. So, whatever higher power that we believe in, okay? I say God, universe, source. The peace of trust in the higher power beyond us, we're still allowed. It's okay to go to that source and say, I'm scared. When I've had health stuff and diagnoses or whatever,
Mhm.
The health, and that is usually, I think, touches most people, or it's most relatable in this way. It's not that. So peace, faith, trust. It doesn't mean that you ignore your fear, your discomfort, you're waiting, you got a test that came back and it didn't look good. Okay. And then you're waiting for the more testing or the appointment with the doctor or whatever. You're waiting to get more information to know where you're at and then deal with it, so on. In that waiting period, peace is it's okay. I've lots of times I say, I'm scared. I'm still gonna be grateful. I'm still gonna affirm that I'm healthy. I'm still gonna affirm that I trust my body and I trust my being to deal and cope and be, and I trust in the divine health that I am.
Mhm.
But it's okay to say, I'm scared. I feel scared. Help me
Yeah.
release this. And it will be.
Yeah.
So peace is also the knowing and the permission to be afraid, but just direct where it's going. Hand it over to a higher power that's gonna take it and bring it into that peace, not into, a really good friend that tends to be a worrier and tends to panic. Yeah, don't go there with your fear. So just discern where you go with it, but have it. Don't ignore it. Have your fear.
Yeah.
Having peace doesn't mean we don't have fear. Just discern where you take it so
Yeah.
it doesn't spiral out of control and then you're tending to somebody else's fear. Be
Yeah.
responsible with it.
Yeah. Beautiful. A little distinction also between letting go and letting be is one of the things that I want to point out, because this is again to what we're pointing here, and to in order to remain in a state of peace and or return to the state of peace if you have already lingered, is letting go is more about being aware that there's past that you're holding on to that you can allow to go. But when you let things be what they are, you are in a present moment. In that, from that state of being, you're letting things be what they are. It's not that you
Mhm,
don't feel pressure. It's not that you're not experiencing life, but you can, this being in a state of being where you can allow things to be the way they are is to be in a space where you can respond to life versus you have to react to life. And this is
mhm,
again a very powerful distinction that a lot of authors make in their teachings, and I can't say it enough how important that is.
mhm,
Just understand and practice
mhm.
being
Yeah,
where you are in with whatever comes. And I get it. It sometimes feels that it's easier said than done, and probably a lot of times. At the same time, this is where the work happens.
mhm,
And if you came here to just have fun and not do the inner work, you might not experience much peace. You may
mhm,
experience what we refer to as, comfort, or
mhm.
to a point. Like, let's say that you manage to figure out the abundance piece and you can pay for anything. But if you don't have inner peace, no amount of money is going to allow you to feel that, to be there in that state of being. So that really is where the liberation happens. I trust that that's where we find not only peace, love, abundance, health. It is
Mm,
where freedom exists.
yeah. Yeah. It's so important, and, like, if we should honor ourselves enough that we're worthy of the time to practice. It has to start there, because if we don't honor ourselves enough to know to go exercise, well, then our body's not gonna be healthy, or eat good food, and, take good care of ourselves and eat well and sleep well, all that. You know, we have to, come to a point of believing that we're worthy of it,
Yeah.
and that's like, once you do that, the rest will happen on its own. The doing part is within that. Just starting with, "I'm worthy of having peace," and the peace will do the work for you, because stuff will come. That's the opening, that I am worthy, that's the open door, and then the experiences come in to choose peace in. then we realize it's already there. But when we really truly remember that we are love and that we're worthy, when we truly, truly touch that and reach it,
Mhm.
it that's the open door and everything will come. Just
Mhm.
sit back,
Mhm.
let go, let it be, just
Mhm.
be. It'll happen. Like the current is already flowing.
Yeah.
We're joining it. We're not making it. We're joining the natural flow and current.
Yeah, and I want to touch briefly on that before we conclude here, because sometimes, and I asked that question myself before, so sometimes people will ask, like, okay, so if I just be, if I don't do anything, how is it going to come to me if I just sit in my house and don't do anything and just be?
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm not saying to
Mhm.
sit in your house,
Yeah. No.
I'm saying
No. It
basically when you're in that state of being, when you're tuned into peace, you're going to start receiving intuition.
Mhm.
The intuition is going to start forming thoughts in your brain, in your mind that are
Mhm.
going to cause you to all of a sudden decide, oh, you know what? I feel like going for a hike. And you're like, okay, that was odd. I'm just gonna go for a hike. And I have this place in mind. I saw
Yeah.
myself already in my mind. I know that hike. I've been there. Okay, that's the mount, whatever, whatever, where I'm gonna go hike. Okay.
Yeah.
And you go on that hike at that exact moment, and let's say that you were looking for some sort of life partner, and you bump into some people and you hang out with them. It's like, okay, it's been a nice day. And all of a sudden, there emerges your life partner.
Mhm.
Um, you know, that's kind of how that would happen. It's not like
Yeah.
it cannot be scripted
Right.
by your mind because that's the very obstacle to your life.
Exactly. Yes.
Let me say, not just the mind itself, it's the construct of the mind is the very obstacle. Because the mind itself is
Yeah.
obviously a servant, it's a wonderful
Mhm.
servant, but it shouldn't be the master
No.
in a
We are
sense.
always the problem. Who is it? Taylor Swift, "I'm the problem, it's me," like, or whatever. It's like, no, I know that's used in this all the time. Everybody uses that title, but the problem is always in our trying to do more rather than just be, which is exactly what you explained. Yeah, that's when it happens.
Yeah,
If we're following our desires that come to us,
yeah,
go do it.
yeah,
If you get
exactly.
the impulse, I say, like, the impulse to, yeah, go for a walk, go for whatever, there's a reason. It might
Mhm.
be the grocery store,
I was just gonna say, grocery
whatever.
store, wherever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right time, right place kind of thing, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
maybe you will be standing in a grocery store line and somebody will be saying something that will, make you think of, oh my God, I've done that to myself too. Oh my God. And
Mhm.
you've learned something that was super important to take you to the next level where you will be open enough to receive
Yeah.
something again. So it's like this cascade of events that will happen that will unravel if you are in this state of being of inner peace. Inner
Yeah.
peace, love, abundance, joy, they are health, it
Mhm.
all is. The
Yep.
obstacle that you feel, that's the filters that you taught yourself to
Mhm.
protect yourself as a youth, as a young being from situations that were happening around you that you didn't have control over. That's
Yep.
okay, but if you continue to be driven by those filters, you're going to have very filtered results in your life.
Yes.
And this is what typically doesn't work for people.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Yes, totally. Happens to me all day long. Awareness. You see
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, I
yeah.
love that.
Intuition is how we get those messages inside, and
Mhm.
following it. That's like the whole nother level of trusting.
Yeah.
Perhaps we'll talk about that next time.
Mhm. Yeah.
Trust
Love it.
intuition.
Love it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much again,
Yes.
Tammy, for hanging
Thank
out.
you.
Always so much fun
Mhm.
chatting with you. And I
Mhm.
trust that the audience, you guys got something out of this. And I'll be a little bit more specific because I say you guys, but I'm, talking specifically to you, a person out there watching on YouTube, on
Mhm.
through your computer or whatever. I trust that this is landing with you somehow. And if you have any thoughts, questions, ideas, feel free to leave in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll do our best to answer appropriately. So,
Mhm.
thank you again so much for being here with
Mm.
us. If you enjoyed the session today, again, as usual, hit the like, hit the subscribe for more sessions, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Yes.
Until then, take good care of you.
Mhm. Thank you.